Now, to be honest, I didn't expect this one, and this is really cool because after MX Keys, we got MX Keys Mini, and right after that, couple of months later, or the certain period of time that passed, we got the MX Mechanical and the MX Mechanical Mini, which is quite cool if you're into that mechanical click and that mechanical feel, which will give you, I don't know, certain feel while working, of course. Now, these keyboards are really something cool in terms of visual design. Low profile switches, we have Kylie Brown switches beneath both of keyboards, and low profile keycaps, which definitely look quite interesting. Now, when we're taking into consideration the actual keycaps, MX Keys Mini has a certain, I would say, different design on the keycaps, which have certain dent in, and your fingers really click the exact key that you're aiming, if of course you know how to type perfectly. It's really nice to type on MX Keys Mini and seamlessly without any problems. When we're talking about the MX Mechanical, now here's the thing. You have keycaps that resemble to any ordinary keycap, and they have a certain wave in the middle, so it still gives an opportunity for normal typing, which will definitely be helpful to some. But MX Keys Mini does have that circular dent in, which is, I would say, much more appealing to some than the regular shape of the keycaps. In terms of comparison, the MX Mechanical Mini and the standard MX Keys Mini, except for the mechanical switches, of course, we have almost the same design when we're talking about the edges and the actual color scheme, but we have much larger arrows, which for some of you guys will definitely be much more appealing and suitable for workflow if you're usually using arrows in your standard keyboard, but it will give you more ease of use in your workflow. When we're talking about the dimensions, we have the MX Keys Mini, which is quite smaller. Actually, it's smaller for the whole right row of keys, and by that you actually get the delete, home, and page up, page down. Even though on MX Keys Mini, if you use the FN button plus your arrows, you'll get a possibility to access all of those keys functions without any problems. But this is something that will actually give you some ease of use where you don't have to use the function key. When we're talking about the function key on the MX Keys Mini is on the far left side next to Control, while on the MX Mechanical Mini is between Alt and Control on the right side next to the arrows. We have basically all the functions are the same, so you have possibility to switch between 3 devices, brightness of the keyboard, you have voice control, emojis, screenshot, you have microphone mute, search, play pause, and mute the sound, and to adjust the volume as well. So basically, when we're talking about multifunctional keys, you have everything the same. There's no difference, and even the MX Mechanical, the standard full version, has some additional features that will give you possibility to adjust the brightness on your monitor, that will give you a screen lock, Windows lock, and everything else. And the cool thing and the biggest difference compared to the MX Keys and the MX Mechanical is the possibility to raise your keyboard. So you have almost the same height when we're talking about not using your legs. MX Keys Mini doesn't have any additional legs to adjust the height, but the MX Mechanical actually does. And this is it, guys. It gives you a possibility to raise your keyboard by 8 degrees, and it kind of does feel much better when we're talking about the mechanical switches and of course the different keycaps to type normally without any problems, because the keyboard is a bit higher, taller than the MX Keys. In general, you get switches, you get higher keycaps. This is actually a full low profile keyboard, which I would call it that way, and this is a couple of millimeters higher, and it will be more suitable to adjust the height at the back. On the far right side on both keyboards, the MX Mechanical and the MX Mechanical Mini, you have an on-off switch and you have USB Type-C connection. But that's not all. With the keyboard you actually do get a USB bolt receiver, which is outstanding, and as I explained in the MX Master 3S, this gives you opportunity to have a brilliant connection, wireless connection, to your PC, and of course when the mouse goes with Logitech Flow on another operational system or another computer, the keyboard follows the mouse. Now when we're talking about the switches, I think we already covered the Keycaps brown switches, but these are low profile and you'll get some quiet typing without a doubt, even though we're talking about mechanical switches. So let's hear the sound of the Keycaps brown switches. So these were Keycaps brown switches, and let's hear the MX keys which don't have switches. I would say typing on MX Mechanical is quite outstanding, and I do have to admit that, even though I am used to the MX keys shape of the keycaps and is somewhat different when we're talking about seamlessly typing without any problems, or you might consider that your finger will get stuck between the keycaps. But when we're talking about these keycaps have identical spacing between them, you won't have any mistakes while typing. And if you're worried about the switches, they're actually quite quiet and the feel is really nice. We're talking about low profile switches again, so this won't have any issues with the travel distance. Since I mentioned the travel distance, it's time to mention some specifications of the actual switches. They're actually called Keycaps Chalk Round Brown low profile tactile switches. We have actuation force 50 grams, they're low profile, and they have MX compatible steam. So for the browns we have 1.3 millimeter pre-travel, while the total travel is 3.2 millimeters. Comparing it to basically the red and the blue, the only difference is that the reds are linear and that the blue are clicky. So Keycaps Chalk V2 low profile brown round tactile switches. Quite interesting, I would say, that they chose those, because it gives you some silent work, it gives you some certain tactile feel, and of course the pre-travel and the full travel of the keyboard. If you get used to the keyboard, you could actually use the advantage of 1.3 millimeter pre-travel and get the actuation quite sooner than on any other keyboard that needs to be pressed on 1.8, 2.0 or other distance. In terms of switching from MX Keys Mini to MX Mechanical Mini or full size, it's up to you to decide if you want to go with different shaped keycaps or if you want to go with standard low profile keycaps with switches that are Keycaps Chalk Brown round with MX stem. And it's quite interesting because people get a choice now to choose between quite nice and solid mechanical keyboard for workflow and productivity, which I don't regret a single second having an MX Keys Mini, but I'm really curious how this will work in the long run, and how will I adjust to the mechanical feel while working and doing everything. I think it's all up to personal preferences, as I already stated. If you're used to, I don't know, if you have a gaming keyboard that's of course mechanical and you're already used to constant usage of those, you might be able to switch easily to a productivity keyboard that also has mechanical switches. But then we're talking about brown switches that are tactile feel, and I know some of you don't prefer brown mechanical switches, but it's all up to personal preferences, as I said already third time, to choose what suits you best. So hope you like this certain review overview and more insight about the keyboards, because giving you guys some comparison to the MX Keys Mini, MX Mechanical Mini and MX Mechanical full size is quite interesting. So guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, of course. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button, and you can check the links below for the products if you're interested. So that's that. Hopefully I will see you in another one. Bye bye.